There is a moment I have watched happen to more women than I can count, and it happens in a chair, under a bright light, with a stranger's hands near her face. She had the lashes put on years back, the extensions, the fans, the sets that made her eyes look wide awake in every photo. And now she is having them taken off because her eyes itch and she is tired of the fills. The girl works the little tweezers along her lash line to loosen the glue, and when she is done, that woman goes home, washes her face, leans into the mirror, and there is almost nothing there. Her own lashes came off with the fake ones, short little stubs, sparse as a worn-out broom. She is 63, staring at a bare lash line, wondering if that is just what happens to your eyes when you get old. Baby, that is not just what happens. Let me sit with you a minute, because I have something to tell you that costs about $4, and it was in your grandmother's medicine cabinet the whole time. I am Janet. I am a black woman past 60, same as a lot of you, and I have spent a long life gathering what the women before me knew and watching the world sell it back to us at a markup. And when I started noticing my own lashes going thin, going pale at the ends, not holding the mascara the way they used to, I did what I always do. I went back in my memory to my grandmother's house. She kept a little brown bottle of castor oil on the second shelf of the bathroom cabinet, next to the mercurochrome and the Vicks. As a child, I dreaded that bottle, because a spoonful of castor oil was what she gave you when your stomach was acting up, and Lord, it was awful going down. But that same bottle had another life. On a Sunday evening, I would watch her sit at her vanity and take a tiny bit of that oil on her finger and work it into her eyebrows and along her lashes and into the edges of her hair. She had brows into her 80s, not drawn on, hers. And I never once connected the dreadful spoon with the pretty brows until I was grown and going gray myself. So let me tell you what it is plain, before I tell you anything else. The oil is castor oil. That is the whole secret. Not a serum with a long chemical name, just the castor oil pressed from the castor bean, the same thick honey-colored oil that has been in black households and on black hair for 100 years and more. That is what my grandmother used, and it is what the women who keep at it swear by for their lashes and their brows. Now I have to be straight with you about what it does and what it does not do, because I am not here to sell you a miracle, and anybody who promises you a 20-year-old's lashes in a week off a $4 bottle is selling you a dream, not an oil. Castor oil does not grow you brand new lashes out of a bare spot where the follicle is dead and gone. It is not going to give you the length of the strip lashes you glue on for a wedding, and it is not fast. What it does, and what the women who use it will tell you, is this. It conditions the lashes you already have so they stop snapping off short before they have finished growing. A lash has a life to it, a natural length it can reach, and when it is dry and brittle it breaks off long before it gets there, so your lashes look stubby and thin. Oil the hair and it stays supple, and it holds on, and it reaches its full length, and all of a sudden you have the lashes you were supposed to have the whole time. On sparse brows, the same thing. Over weeks and months it softens them, fills them in where there is still a living follicle, and darkens them a shade so they read fuller. That is the honest scope of it, keeping what is yours and helping it come back to its full self, not sprouting hair where there is none. And how long does that take? Give it 8 to 12 weeks before you judge it, doing it near every night. This is a slow, patient thing, the way most real things are. If you are the kind of woman who quits at 2 weeks because you cannot see a change yet, hear me and set that expectation now, since the ones who get the results are the ones who kept a boring little routine going through a whole season. Now let me tell you what they will try to sell you instead, so you know what you are walking past. There is a prescription drug for this, a real one, approved by the government, that a doctor can write you for thin lashes. It works, I will give it that. And it runs you around $135 for a little bottle that lasts about a month. So you are on a subscription to your own eyelashes. But here is the part that stopped me cold when I read the label. That drug can darken the colored part of your eye. It can turn a brown eye a deeper, muddier brown, and the fine print says that change may be permanent. It can darken the skin of your eyelid, too. Now think about that with me. They will write you a prescription month after month for a drug that might permanently change the color of your eyes to fix a problem that a spoon of oil from the cabinet has been handling quietly for generations, and not one soul in that office is going to mention the oil. Nobody gets rich off the oil. Then there are the serums, the pretty little tubes with the tiny wand, 60, 80, $100, lined up at the counter promising you lush lashes. Turn some of them over and read the ingredients, and you will find the same family of drug as the prescription, or a peptide, floating in a base of, you guessed it, oils. You are paying $100 for a fancy tube of mostly oil with a good story printed on the side. And the lash extensions and the lash lifts, the appointment every few weeks, the glue and the tug, the very thing that took that woman's real lashes off in the first place. I am not going to tell you never to enjoy yourself. I am telling you what it costs, in money and in the lashes you were born with. Now, before you go running to pour oil all over your eyes, let me be just as honest about the kitchen side, because I am not the kind of woman who will tell you everything old is gold and everything in a store is a swindle. Some of the eye advice floating around out there is flat foolishness, and it can hurt you. Do not use baby oil. It is a petroleum oil with fragrance in it, and fragrance near your eye is asking for a burn. Do not go mixing up a cocktail of 5 oils, coconut and vitamin E and olive and castor and whatever else, and slathering it on thick. All you are doing is giving more of it away to run down into your eye, and I promise you, you will be lying in the bed with your vision gone blurry, blinking and fussing, wondering why you did this to yourself. The women who have tried it will tell you the burn is real. And there is a foolishness going around where people rub castor oil right into the eyeball itself for this and that. Do not do that. The eye doctors have said it plain, that oil does not belong in your eye, and your grandmother would have said the same with fewer words. Vaseline. Now, that one is harmless enough as a moisturizer. It will keep the lashes soft, but it just sits there and coats. It is not doing what the oil does, so do not expect it to bring your brows back. All right? So here is how I do it, at my own bathroom sink. Get yourself a bottle of pure castor oil. If you can find the Jamaican black castor oil, the dark kind, that is the one a lot of our women reach for. But plain cold-pressed castor oil, the hexane-free kind, does the job fine too. What you want is pure oil and nothing else in the bottle, no dyes and no perfume, because that is going right by your eye. A bottle runs you $4 to $10, and using the little bit you use, it will last you the better part of a year. You need a clean applicator, a disposable mascara wand, or a little spoolie brush kept for this and nothing else, so you are not carrying old makeup and old bacteria up to your eye. Wash your face first and get all your eye makeup off, because you are putting this on clean lashes at night, right before bed. Here is the part that separates the women who love it from the women who quit in a huff. Use almost nothing. Dip the very tip of the wand in the oil, then wipe most of it back off on the rim of the bottle. You want the wand barely damp, not loaded up. Close your eye, or look down, and brush it lightly along the top of your lashes and out toward the tips, the way you would a coat of mascara, but gentle. Do not jam it down into the roots, and do not let it pool along your lash line, because that is how it creeps into your eye overnight. A whisper of oil is all a lash can hold anyway. Then take what is left on the wand and run it through your brows, following the way the hair grows. If any oil migrates and you feel it, take a clean tissue and press it away. Then go to sleep and let it work while you rest, and wash your face like normal in the morning. Do that every night, or every other night if nightly feels like too much, and then leave it alone and let time do the rest. 8 weeks, 12, a whole season of a boring little habit before bed. Why does it work? Nothing mysterious, honey. A lash is a hair, the same as the hair on your head, just small, and a hair that is kept oiled and supple does not get dry and snap off. The oil conditions the shaft so the lash holds on and reaches its full length instead of breaking short, and it keeps the skin at the base soft and cared for. Think of an old doll with hair gone dry and frizzy and breaking off at the ends. You put a little oil on it and comb it through, and the breaking stops, and the hair lays down and looks like something again. Your lashes are no different. You are just refusing to let them dry up and break. And that castor oil has a deeper story than most of us were ever told. The castor plant is African. It grew on that continent long before it ever saw Jamaica. When our people were carried across the water in chains, they brought the knowledge of that plant with them in their heads, because nobody could take that. In Jamaica, they worked out a way of roasting the beans first, then pressing and boiling them, and that roasting is what turns the oil dark and gives Jamaican black castor oil its name and its strength. That method came down from our grandmothers' grandmothers, who kept an African science alive on a plantation and passed it hand to hand until it landed in a little brown bottle on my grandmother's shelf. When you brush that oil on your lashes tonight, you are doing a thing with a longer memory than any serum on any counter. But oiling your lashes is only the doorway. If all you do is oil your lashes and you keep doing everything else that tears them out, you are bailing a boat with a hole still in it. The oil is the small part. The real work is the whole way you treat your eyes, and this is what the old women understood that we let ourselves forget. Start with what is snatching them: the lash extensions, the strip lashes, the individual falsies, the lash glue. All of it pulls on the real lash and takes some with it every single time it comes off. If you have worn them for years, that is a good deal of why your lashes are thin now. I am not scolding you. I wore my share, but if you want them back, you have got to give them a long rest from all of it. And the everyday things count just as much. Sleeping in your mascara so it dries hard and cracks your lashes when you finally rub it off. The waterproof mascara that will not come off without a fight, and the fight is you dragging at your own lashes, rubbing your eyes hard when they itch, or when you are tired. Every one of those is a little tug, and lashes are fragile, and 100 little tugs a week is why they never get anywhere. So the foundation is gentleness, more than anything you buy. When you take your eye makeup off, do not scrub it. Soak a cotton pad in a little of that same oil, or a gentle cleanser, lay it on the closed eye, and let it sit a few seconds to melt the makeup. Then wipe soft and slow, one direction, out toward the temple. No dragging back and forth. The skin around your eye is the thinnest skin on your whole body, and at our age it is thinner still, so you handle it like you would handle a baby's. And if you sleep on your side or your face and mash your lashes into the pillow all night, a satin or silk pillowcase lets your lashes press in and lift back off without snapping, where a cotton case grips them and folds them the same spot for hours. Then there is what you put on your plate, and this is the part nobody selling you a serum wants to say, because there is nothing to sell in it. Lashes are hair, and hair is built from protein. Your body feeds the parts that keep you alive first, the heart and the blood and the bone, and your eyelashes are nowhere near the front of that line. So if your eating is thin, the lashes are the first thing your body quits spending on. The fish and the eggs, the beans and the greens, and enough water through the day. The same eating that keeps the hair on your head is the same eating that lets your lashes come back. A woman worried about her lashes who is living on coffee and toast has a kitchen problem before she has a lash problem. The brows belong to this same story, so do not leave them out. So many of us plucked our brows down to a thin pencil line back in the day when that was the fashion, and plucked the same spot year after year, and one day they just did not come back. If the follicle is truly gone from all that plucking, oil will not raise the dead. But if there is still life in it, and there often is, that nightly bit of castor oil worked through the brow will bring it in slow, fill it fuller, darken it up, over months, not days. The women who stuck with it on their brows are the ones who tell me they finally stopped drawing them on. There are a couple of other small old ways worth folding in while you have the bottle open, and none of them cost you a thing. Keep a clean spoolie just for your brows, and give them a little brush each morning, which lays them neat and moves the natural oils through. Work a dab of that same castor oil into your edges and the hairline where our hair thins first. And for eyes that wake up puffy, a clean washcloth wrung out in cool water, or the back of a cold spoon you left in the refrigerator, pressed gentle over the closed lids for a minute, brings the puffiness down and wakes them up. Little things. The sort a grandmother did without ever calling it a routine. Now I need to say the safety part slow, because your eyes are not something to play with, and I would never hand you a thing without telling you where it can go wrong. Keep the oil out of the eye itself. On the lashes and the brows and the skin, yes. In the eye, no. If it does get in, and a little might, you will see blurry for a while, and it may sting, and that will pass. But that is your sign you use too much, so use less next time. This is exactly why we use a barely damp wand and a whisper of oil and never a loaded brush. Use pure oil only, the plain kind with nothing added, because the dyes and fragrances in the wrong bottle are what irritate. Keep that applicator clean, a fresh one or a washed one, so you are not carrying bacteria to your eye and ending up with a sty. And a few women's skin just does not agree with castor oil, so before you ever put it near your eye, do a little patch on the inside of your wrist for a day and make sure you do not react. And here is the line the kitchen does not cross. If you have got a sty that will not quit, an eyelid that stays red and swollen, a sudden loss of lashes that came on fast and for no reason you can name, or any bump or spot or mole on the lid that is changing, that is not a castor oil situation. That is a doctor. And go to one who will actually look, not the kind who glances at you for a minute and says it is nothing before you have finished your sentence. You know the visit I mean. This is worth more than that visit. The oil is for keeping healthy lashes healthy and helping thin ones fill back in. It is not for a medical thing, and pretending otherwise is how people get hurt. I want to be careful how I talk about the ones who sold us the expensive way, because nobody sat in a room and decided to keep this from you. It is quieter than that, and sadder. A lash appointment books itself out 3 weeks at a time. A prescription refills itself. A $90 tube rings up at the register, and a spoon of oil from your own cabinet rings up nothing, so nobody ever stood at a counter and taught it to you. The oil never stopped working. It just could not be sold, and a thing that cannot be sold slips out of the passing down, quiet as anything, until a whole generation of us grew up never once hearing the answer our great-grandmothers already had. So, the whole routine, start to finish, the way I do it. Castor oil, pure, $4 to $10, and the Jamaican black kind if you can find it. A clean wand, barely damp, a whisper of oil brushed along your lashes toward the tips and through your brows, at night, on a clean face, eyes closed, and any extra pressed away with a tissue. Every night or every other night for 8 to 12 weeks before you judge it. Give your lashes a long rest from the extensions and the falsies and the glue. Take your makeup off gentle, no scrubbing and no dragging. Satin on the pillow, good food and water on the plate. The brows get the same oil and the same patience. Keep it out of the actual eye. Keep the oil pure and the applicator clean. Patch test first and go see a real doctor for anything that is a medical matter and not a beauty one. That is the whole of it. Nothing to reorder every month and no counter to stand at feeling like an afterthought. Before I let you go, I would love to know something. What is the most you ever spent chasing fuller lashes, the serum or the extensions or the drops, before anybody told you about the oil? Tell me in the comments, because I have a feeling the number is going to make some of us laugh so we do not cry. And if you are one of us, one of the women who always suspected the real answers were the old ones, the ones our grandmothers kept in a little brown bottle and never wrote down, then come sit in this circle and stay a while. Subscribe so the next thing they buried and sold back to us at a markup comes to you first, the way it should have all along. This knowledge was always yours. Let us keep it that way, together. I will see you next time, baby.